Hi, my name is Alyssa Nelsen, and I'm with Master Physical Therapy. Today I'm here to give you some tips and tricks on how to stay safe when navigating over ice or snow-packed conditions. So here in Missouri, it's getting to about that time of the year where snow and ice are inevitable and probably going to happen. So how do we keep ourselves safe and how do we protect ourselves from falls while we're doing that? So first and foremost, the biggest thing is proper footwear. So making sure that we're wearing shoes that are nice and tight, that are laced, and have good tread on them. So if you have shoes that are pretty worn out, pretty flat on the bottom, don't have a lot of grip, don't have a lot of support, those are really going to let you down in those times when we need that extra bit of grip to keep you from wiping out. So we definitely want good, nice treaded shoes that give you the traction that you need, nice and stable support. That's also going to help if you can have some like winter boots or anything that go kind of above the ankles, going to provide some ankle support there too. That way, if you do tend to slip or slide, they might kind of help hold your ankles up, prevent some injuries from that standpoint as well. The big things when walking on ice, we want to make sure that we keep our center of gravity, so kind of all of our body weight stationed over the foot that we're placing our weight onto. So an area that I see a lot of people get into trouble is that they'll get those strides too far out in front of them and kind of create that big step, which creates some forward pressure rather than straight down. And that's where we get the slips out in front or the slips kind of behind. If we're still putting too much weight stepping onto one, they'll slip that back foot out behind. So we want to make sure when we're stepping, we're keeping our weight up over that one. Also taking some smaller steps so that we make sure that we're keeping our weight straight down into the ground, not shifting, not turning. When we get onto hills and inclines and slopes, this all becomes a lot more difficult. So one thing you can try to do in those standpoints is also trying to go sideways can be very helpful. So what we're doing there, instead of creating like a very narrow base of support, so think a ski going down a downward slope, like that's pretty narrow. It's meant to slide down that. What we want to do is get as much traction as we can to stop us from going that direction. So kind of turning sideways, inching our way down, again, keeping our weight over our feet is going to really keep us safe in those conditions. Obviously, if you can find a path kind of around or have some ice melt or anything kind of grippy onto that ice or that snow, that's going to help you there. Another big thing that can kind of be good, if you can keep a little bit of some ice melt or some sand or some kitty litter, anything kind of around. If you're in a place that you can't really help it, you can't control the ice or the snow that's on the ground and you have to traverse across of it, sometimes keeping those things in your car will give you a little extra traction on the ice, a little extra traction on the snow, and can really save you in those times when you have no other option but to kind of pass over those, especially on those steep or slanted slopes. If you get on those, if there is an area that maybe has some grass rather than a pavement surface, try to actually go to that grassier area, as the grass kind of creates a little bit of a barrier for the snow and you'll get some downward pressure. So, if you like step onto some ice or snowpack on concrete, it's very solid, doesn't move, doesn't give, but grass, you kind of tend to crunch down in a little better. So if you have that pathway, the grass is usually a safer option, or gravel or anything that's got a little more traction to it. As always, if there's anything you need, feel free to reach out to the clinic or check us out at knobpt.com.